Mario Draghi was out. Done. Retired. After saving the Eurozone and leading Italy through political turbulence, he had nothing left to prove. But Europe still needs saving. In 2023, the European Commission came calling. One last mission: figure out how to make the EU competitive again in a world dominated by Trump's tariffs, Putin's war, and Xi's industrial juggernaut. Draghi said yes. And now his final report is at the centre of a fierce new fight in Brussels. Ursula von der Leyen just unveiled the first sketch of the EU's next 7-year budget. It's a $1.2 trillion plan, or more, that has to satisfy 27 national governments, survive political crossfire, and somehow respond to the most serious threats Europe has faced in decades. The numbers may sound big, but Draghi thinks they're too small. The EU budget is just 1% of the continent's GDP. Compare that to France or Germany, where national budgets make up 50% or more of their economies. That's like trying to defend a castle with a pocket knife. Draghi says Europe needs $800 billion in new investment every single year just to stay competitive. Climate transition, tech, defense, migration, Ukraine, it all adds up. But there's a catch. To pass this budget, every EU country has to agree, unanimously. And that's where the real battle begins. Countries like Sweden, Germany, and the Netherlands want no increase. Zero. They argue that the EU should simply make do, cut from agriculture, shift priorities, avoid new spending. But others, including France, say the EU must act like a real union, and that means finding real money. Which brings us to the explosive part of the plan: EU taxes. Technically, they're called own resources. But make no mistake, this is a proposal to give Brussels a share of revenue from tools like the carbon border tax or emissions trading. It's not just about numbers, it's about power. Sweden has already said no. Its EU minister warned against anything that even resembles a new European tax. But Budget Commissioner Piotr Serafin is pushing ahead. He says Europe needs new revenue tools that are politically acceptable to governments and socially acceptable to citizens. That's a delicate dance. Because for many Europeans, especially in the north, the idea of Brussels collecting taxes feels like a step toward a federal Europe. And yet that may be exactly what's needed. Draghi and von der Leyen are also proposing to radically simplify the EU budget. No more endless funds and opaque categories. Instead, a merged megafund for agriculture and cohesion, a new competitiveness fund for industry and innovation, and an external action fund to handle development aid and diplomacy. It's a blueprint for a more agile Europe. But it's also controversial. Farmers, especially in eastern countries, fear losing protections. Poorer regions worry they'll be left behind. And populist leaders are already sharpening their attacks. But the question behind all of this is simple and profound. What is the EU for? Is it just a trade bloc, a peace project, or a real political union that can act, invest, and defend itself? Draghi's report is not just a policy paper. It's a warning. If Europe doesn't act now, it risks falling behind. Economically, geopolitically, technologically. The threats aren't coming. They're already here. Trump's tariffs are back. Putin's war is dragging on. And China is outspending Europe 10-1 in AI, semiconductors, and green tech. Draghi may be on his final mission, but his message is clear. This is not about expanding bureaucracy. It's about survival. Will Europe finally act like a union with a common destiny? Or will it once again let national vetoes kill ambition? The next 2 years of budget talks will tell us everything. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and visit westernrelations.com for more analysis on Europe's future in a changing world. Thanks for watching.